Good morning. Today I just wanted to encourage you to live each moment with the constant awareness of God's presence with us. I Googled "God will never leave us," and it's all over the Bible. For example, in Deuteronomy it says, "It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed." In Deuteronomy, again in Deuteronomy, "Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you." In Joshua, "I will not leave you or forsake you." Isaiah, "Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed. I am your God." Joshua, "For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." That's a good one. Hebrews, "The Lord is my helper. I will not fear." Philippians, "And the peace of God which surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Matthew 28, "I am with you always to the end of the age." So I just want you to be encouraged and to remind yourself throughout the day in some particular way. You might tie a string on your finger. And every time you see that, just remind yourself that God is with you. A pastor friend, I remember a certain homily where he said, he was talking about Jesus always being with you. And he said, so it's like, hey, Jesus, let's go to breakfast. Hey, Jesus, let's go to worship. And if you live in that kind of awareness, then are you going to say, hey, Jesus, let's go get drunk on South Beach? Or, hey, Jesus, let's go into this strip joint? Or let's turn on this porn and watch that, It's a good visual, taking Jesus wherever you go, because he's with you wherever you go. So he's going. Today's first reading comes from 1 Samuel 15, 16 through 23. Samuel said to Saul, "Stop, let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night." Saul replied, "Speak." Samuel then said, "Though little in your own esteem, are you not the leader of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king of Israel and sent you on a mission, saying, 'Go and put the sinful Amalekites under a ban of destruction. Fight against them until you have exterminated them. Why then have you disobeyed the Lord? You have pounced on the spoil, thus displeasing the Lord.'" Saul answered Samuel, "I did indeed obey the Lord and fulfill the mission on which the Lord sent me. I have brought back Agag, and I have destroyed Amalek under the ban. But from the spoil the men took sheep and oxen, the best of what had been banned, to sacrifice to the Lord their God in Gilgal." But Samuel said, "Does the Lord so delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obedience to the command of the Lord? Obedience is better than sacrifice, and submission than the fat of rams. For a sin like divination is rebellion, and the prescription is the crime of idolatry. Because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he too has rejected you as ruler." And that's the word of the Lord. Today's gospel comes from Mark 2, verses 18 through 22. The disciples of John and of the Pharisees were accustomed to fast. People came to Jesus and objected, "Why do the disciples of John and the disciples of the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered them, "Can the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. But the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and they will fast on that day. No one sews a piece of unshrunken cloth on an old cloak. If he does, its fullness pulls away, the new from the old, and the tear gets worse. Likewise, no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and both the wine and the skins are ruined. Rather, new wine is poured into fresh wineskins. And that is the gospel of the Lord. Brothers and sisters, today's Bible promise comes from Psalms 18, verse 3. I called to the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and I have been saved from my enemies. Keep your eyes on the kingdom and have a great day, everybody. Hi, Mom. Hi, Amanda.